Thank you for staying with us, everyone. The APC of the Southeast has formally endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term in office. Endorsements came at a stakeholders meeting where party leaders and supporters cited ongoing reforms, infrastructure development, and renewed efforts at national unity as reasons for their support. Our correspondent reports on the resolutions reached and the political implications of this endorsement. Let's see this report.
The All Progressive Congress in Southeast region held an expanded stakeholders meeting in Enugu. The meeting was convened to deliberate on strategies ahead of the 2027 general election. During the interactive session, party leaders, governors, and other key stakeholders shared their views on the future direction of the party in the zone.
As a member,
after extensive deliberation, the stakeholders unanimously resolved to mobilize grassroots support for re-election of President Bola Tinubu across the 5 Southeast states.
Thank you.
The 15-point communique was read by the zonal chairman of the party, while the motion of adoption was moved by the former Senate President Paisayin and seconded by Senator Ken Nnamani.
Yes, it is in the interest of Southeast geopolitical zone that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR be adopted, supported, and voted into office for the second term come 2027. No be so.
Yes, many people standing here, if you are not supporting our president, you will mold. You have just come to hear what is being said here. And I'm sure there's some molds here. So, any effective member of APC from Southeast, we have a strong reason, because of our performing governors, to support the president.
The governors of Enugu, Imo, and Ebonyi State also resolved that Ndigbo should refrain from practicing fragmented politics in a multi-ethnic country like Nigeria.
So one of the things and takeaways from this meeting today must all of us to rise and agree that we must support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to complete his second term. When we have been able to achieve this, it will be a business of reciprocity. When right hand watches the left hand will watch the right hand, and the two hands will be free.
Enugu State has become a bastion of the APC. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership, Nigeria has begun the difficult work of repositioning itself for long-term strength. Hard choices have been made for sustainability.
It's a very large family. And in every large family, one must make a sacrifice. And I want to urge our leaders that we need to forgive one another and make a lot of sacrifice so that those that are joining us now will have a place in our party.
A key issue that resonated throughout the deliberation was the resolve to embark on massive grassroots mobilization to ensure the return of President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 election. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News Enugu.
Thank you, Bamidele Ajayi. So is this just another endorsement of its kind or some political realignment? What exactly was APC's core message to Southeast voters in 2023, and why did it fail? Why should party members trust the same leadership that presided over such a historic loss? Tonight, let's speak with my guest, Paul Ikonne, Abia APC chieftain, former CEO NAUDA, and that's National Agricultural Land Development Authority. Thank you very much for joining me on the program. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get to business, because, you know, we just saw a report, Southeast stakeholders, leaders, governors endorsing Mr. President for a second term. And you know that endorsements of this nature, of this kind, endorsements come up pre-election season. What's different with this?
This is very unique. And I think every Southeasterner should begin to celebrate the realignment of the Southeast zone into the national polity. I think Governor Hope should be commended for the level of work that he is doing in order to position Southeast properly to the center. And all other governors from the Southeast that have keyed into APC projects to see that Mr. President is re-elected. It's not just any other endorsement. If you look at the caliber of people, former Senate presidents, former governors, serving governors, ministers, former ministers, these are the key stakeholders. And if you will agree with me, politics is all about numbers. And when you have these key stakeholders that command numbers, you can be fully rest assured that victory is on the side of Mr. President.
Key stakeholders of this nature just before 2023, but the Southeast APC was, only able to give the president 6%. So, I've heard people say this is another year to deceive Mr. President.
Let me just help you understand the uniqueness of this endorsement. Enugu State wasn't APC.
Okay.
Abia State wasn't fully APC. Anambra State wasn't APC.
When you say wasn't fully APC, okay, please
yes,
go ahead.
Because those that are in the APC today in Abia were not there in 2023. The former governor of Abia State, Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu, who is now ministerial ambassadorial nominee, and the entire PDP, they are now in APC. So you see this endorsement is a clear statement that Southeast has properly realigned to the center in order to make sure that our vote counts. Just be rest assured and don't be in a hurry to ask what will be the volume of vote that we will turn out.
I mean, some of your kingsmen are already projecting 70%. Isn't that some level of exaggeration?
I think
from 6% to 70%.
I think we have gone beyond 70%. Some school of thought believe that with the number of people, the caliber of people we have in APC today in the Southeast, that 90% will not be good result for us, considering the move, the decamping, the harvest of people that we are getting. Let me give you a clearer picture so you can understand what it means for the entire Southeast.
Please do.
What Governor Hope is doing is not only for the Southeasterners residing in the Southeast. No. He has set up a team, which I'm part of, now going around all the states in Nigeria, Lagos, Port Harcourt, where the Igbos reside, for us to begin to engage them, sensitize them, for them to understand the need, for them to key into 2027 re-election bid of Mr. President. So the vote that will come from the Southeast will not only be judged by the ones from those that are residing within the Southeast, but from the ones also that are residing outside the Southeast. But outside that, using Abia as a case study, PDP has almost emptied into APC in Abia State. What does that tell you? It tells you that the votes were lost without having PDP, as those in PDP as part of APC in Abia State. Now we will have them.
But the governor is not a member of the APC. No, we know how powerful governors are.
No. This governor is -1. This governor, Alessoti, is -1 in the sense that he doesn't even have a party. Now, you will agree with me, having abandoned...
He doesn't have a party. As of today, he's still a member of the Labour Party.
But he conducted local government elections with ZLP.
But so, as of today, he's still a member of the Labour Party. Okay. He has not defected.
For argument's sake, yes, but he has abandoned P2B. So what does that tell you? So he started with P2B and he's not ending up with P2B. Why is he afraid?
That's typical of every politician, if you ask me.
Yes.
They say interest matters.
No, good, very good. Why is his interest tinting towards APC? Because he has seen that people have shifted. Abians have shifted, Southeasterners have shifted to support President Ahmed Tinubu. Now, no Southeasterner will want to stay out of, we want this region to stay out of the center. We cannot keep isolating ourselves. No, Southeasterners are no longer willing and ready to isolate themselves from governance because we need power. And we are traders, we are businessmen and women. So aligning with the center helps our business. We are all over Nigeria. So we cannot be seen to be against government at the center. So that is why the work that Governor Hope Uzodimma and other leaders are putting in to see that people understand the need for us to re-elect President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, not just with 10, 20%, no. I did say some time ago that Southeast will eventually become the stronghold of APC. With endorsement, it's beginning to be obvious that we are gearing towards that point.
So again, does endorsement really matter? And when you also consider the fact that APC still struggles for legitimacy in much of the Southeast states, I'm wondering, how does endorsing the president now solve the party's credibility problem in the region?
When you say struggle, that was then, not now. If you say yes, we struggled in 2015.
But look at the last, I do apologize, look at the last governorship election in Anambra State. APC struggled.
Oh, no, good. That's a very good example for me to use to clear the air that APC is not struggling. When there's an understanding, politics is all about negotiation.
Backroom negotiation.
Understanding and negotiation. So when there is a proper understanding and negotiation, anything can happen.
What kind of understanding? Because, I spoke with some APC chieftains in Anambra State, including the governorship candidate, who was very, very confident that he was going to win that election. Meanwhile, you could hear Professor Soludo say, oh, at the center, progressives are working together. And you're here today saying there was a negotiation. And I must also remind you that some Anambra chieftains were not happy with that negotiations. So what has gone forward since then?
Very good question. Even though that's not why we are here, but it's good to throw light on that as well. Knowing fully well that I'm not from Anambra and I wasn't part of the key players in that election and the decision making.
How did you bring that up? Because you spoke about
yes,
Anambra
but
State.
because but we have to note that politics is all about negotiation and also being on ground and commanding influence. Now, if APC was struggling before, APC is no longer struggling now in the Southeast, in the sense that all those they campaign from PDP, Labour, and APGA, they are not going elsewhere except in APC. So other parties now are struggling. We just mentioned about Abia governor not fully in APC, or he's not in the APC at all, in the sense that he knows that all the big wins are in APC. Now all the gathering, all the endorsements that are going to, more that are going to be coming, will just to showcase what has been done. When work are going on, you don't say it. The only way to bring it to people's knowledge is through endorsement, rallies, town hall meetings and conferences. A lot of work has been going on to see that the Southeasterners, the Igbos, across the country vote in 2027 and they will vote right. And voting right means voting President Ahmed Bola Asuwaji Tinubu.
Also, it must be a Herculean task for you all, the leaders, the governors, the stakeholders, if Mr. Peter Obi finds himself on the ballot in 2027. Don't you think so?
I don't know how you came to that conclusion. I just mentioned that Alex Obi has abandoned former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi. So
what's the correlation?
So that's a question that all of us are asking. If the only governor that you contested with, the only state supposedly won, has abandoned you, what does that tell you?
But he won the presidential election in Lagos.
Well, that is an argument that needs to be revisited again. And again, in 2027, let's see how well he would do in Lagos, because this team that Governor Hope set aside, which I mentioned I'm part of, we are reaching out to our brothers and sisters, traders, businessmen, both in Lagos, Kano, and all other states. That mistake will not be made again.
It was a mistake in 2023.
It was a mistake that we did not sensitize, we did not go ahead before election period to let our brothers. Don't forget that most of us are traders. So we leave our house in the morning, we go to our shops, not showing interest in politics. And on the day of election, we just go out there to vote. Or
because most of you underestimated him, which it looks like you're doing again.
No, okay. Underestimate him, well, but sensitization, I think, should be the right word we're going to use. Igbos are not fools. And no Igbo man wants to make one mistake 2 times. No, not at all. So the question still remains, why did Alex Oti not follow Peter Obi to ADC? Why?
Who should answer that question?
Okay, so the Igbos, Nigerians, Alex Oti should tell us, because it's obvious that he knows that Mr. Peter Obi won't go far. So he just wants to remain in his level, to struggle on his own to see if he will make inroad, but which is obvious, he's not going anywhere.
So I mean, I'm forced to ask you, because you're a stakeholder, why was that result that poor in 2023? You have, I mean, tonight you've said it's because there was lack of sensitization, lack of awareness. But I saw Governor Wifuru talking about forgiving one another. But before we go there, let's just go through the results again. I mean, Abia State, for instance, which is your state, APC had 8,914. Labour Party had over 327,000. A man you have just underestimated tonight. Anambra State had 5,111. Peter Obi had over 580,000. Ebonyi State also 42,407. And for Labour Party, over 250,000 votes. Enugu State, 4,772. And for Labour Party, over 428,000 votes. And in Imo State, 66,406 votes went to the APC. And for the Labour Party, over 360,000 votes. What exactly was APC's core message to Southeast in 2023? And why did it fail?
Good. Let me start with party leadership in the first place. You started with Abia. Okay, so the party leadership, the party was in crisis.
All right. Now, I do apologize. Let me put you on hold because we need to go on a break. And when we return, we'll continue this conversation.
Thank you very
Please stay with us, everyone. This is Politics Tonight. Thank you very much for staying with us, everyone. This is Politics Tonight. Our focus tonight is we're asking the big question: has President Tinubu delivered enough to the Southeast to deserve the region's support in 2027? And I've been speaking with Paul Ikonne, Abia APC chieftain, former ES for CEO Nauda. Thank you very much for staying with us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Prince. Now, the question I was asking, first let me ask you this: has the president delivered enough for the Southeast to deserve this support again in 2027?
Yes, delivery is going on. Projects are going on. The projects that started in 2015, they are still ongoing, and they are being completed in phases, and we believe more will be done. Now, politics, like I said, is about a game of number, and for you to have numbers, you must sensitize people and educate people. In 2023, APC had crisis in Abia State. APC was very scanty. But today, APC has leadership in the state as being moderated by the Minister of Labor and Productivity, Barrister Nkiru Ikonne. APC had the likes of Ojus Okalu, serving senator. We have the likes of Ben, Right Honorable Ben, the Deputy Speaker.
Okay.
We have former Governor Benjamin Khan. We have former Governor Senator T.A. Oj. He wasn't in the APC. We have former Governor Dr. Okeze Victor Ibazu, who is now the ambassador nominated by the president. All these people are now in the APC. Now we are now organizing the party in the state. Don't forget that Alex Otti was in the APC. So he ran out a few months to the primaries when he knew he was not going to get. So because of the crisis in the APC, so if our votes were not commensurate to what we are supposed to deliver, that was then. But this going forward to 2027 upward, you will see the kind of votes that APC will turn out. If you look at the number of people, why I keep making emphasis on the number of those that have joined APC, is for you to understand that we discovered why we failed. We didn't have those key players on our side. But now we have these key players on our side.
But do all of this matter when, I mean, I heard Governor Wifuru talking about leaders forgiving one another. And, you know, this reminded me of, you know, some months before the governorship election in Anambra State, I'd spoken with several stakeholders from the state, especially those of the APC. One key factor they continued to talk about was this bitter rivalry, this resentment, this decade-long political rivalry amongst the stakeholders in the state. And I mean, your chairman also, King Sono Bono, Ononogu, I
Yes.
do apologize,
Yes, Dr.
blamed disunity
Yes.
among the party members and sabotage of party interests as some of the factors that prevented your state from
Correct.
winning that governorship election. There were those who are members of the APC that would still never vote for the APC in 2027. Is the party planning ahead of what you people call anti-party activities amongst its members?
Okay, lovely. It's not news. It's not. You're not giving any strange information out.
I mean, I have to say that because we were talking about lack of sensitization.
Sensitization, yeah. So, if you see the meeting that held at the former governor's house, Senator T.A. Orji's house, Governor Orji Uzokalo was there. Senator T.A. Orji was there. The minister, Barrister Nkiri Ikonne was there. This has never happened, to have Governor Orji Uzokalo, the senator, and Governor T.A. Orji being in the same room, having meeting for years. So that meeting brought together all those that served from 1999 to 2023 in one room. The former governor, Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu, wasn't in town when that meeting held. In fact, the next meeting is going to be in his house. What does that mean? Reconciliation have started in Abi. So we understand where we missed it, but now we are putting the record straight in order not to fail the president. So the unity you see going on in Abia is as a result of the challenges we have put to ourselves, that we must not let the president down. And I know same thing or similar thing is going on in different states. So for the stakeholders to come out openly means that we have discovered where we missed it, and now we are fixing it internally before election. And it's good we started very early to fix it. Now, our party congresses are coming, which we believe will correct some certain things that some stakeholders weren't happy about, and we are discussing about it. So as soon as these things are off...
What are those issues?
Say that again?
What are the issues?
Okay, the emergence of some world leaders and all that, and now we are harvesting people coming from other parties. We need to also accommodate them, to allow them have sense of belonging in their world. Where we did not have people who are strong world chairmen and all that, these leaders that have joined us should be able to make input in order for that word to be strong and for our vote to be defended. Don't forget that when you look the other way, you don't mobilize people, you don't protect your vote. Somebody takes advantage of that and thinks that he has won. That will not happen again. That won't happen because the leaders have reconciled and they are moving forward, championing reconciliation from world to LGA level and to state level in order for us to deliver the president. So when you see endorsements like this come up, it's a sign that indeed that the reconciliation that I've started is yielding fruit.
Talking about that endorsement, I'm sure you heard distinguished Senator Victor Ome representing Anambra Central. It says Southeast leaders representing or endorsing Mr. President have not considered the yearnings of the people, and that was a hasty decision.
So what are the yearnings of the people? Can Ume tell you what the people are saying? The people are saying we need to be part of the federal system. That's what the Igbos are saying. We don't want to be outside the federal circle. So who is the president today in the federal system? President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. So who is going to be there in 2027? President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. So how can we be part of it? The only way we can be part of it is to organize ourselves and prove our commitment through our votes. So Ume is just sharing his own personal opinion as an opposition person.
Any other person watching would also say what you're saying tonight is your own personal opinion.
But it's very obvious that the Igbos they have shifted. The question I keep asking, why did Alex Oti not follow Obi to ADC?
And why are you particular about that?
Because it's supposed to send a strong signal to every single person, the Igbos, to know that Alex have seen that Obi will not go far. Yeah, so he wouldn't want to waste his time. Like he said, he wished him well, you know, that he was in Labour before him. So he wants to remain in Labour.
All right, because, you know, going back to Senator Victor Ome, he had a lot to say, and I must quote him correctly so that I do not misjudge him. It says, what have we got from this administration that would make the leaders come and ask us to vote for somebody? Even if all of them, all the 5 governors, decide to endorse the current president, that will not guarantee victory for the current president. A very bold statement. And I also remember that Peter Obi said the same thing last year. Former governor of Enugu State also had same thing to say. I'm talking about Uwodo.
Uwodo,
He
yes.
says 8 years of Buhari was very difficult for our people. 2.5 years of Tinubu is even more difficult for our people. End of quote. So there's something with the term our people, something very personal or regional. What could it be?
What have we given to the system as Southeasterners? Like I said, we are traders and we'll mind our businesses, but we should be part of governance. We shouldn't be in the system, on the part of criticizing, castigating, insulting, and misinforming people about the system. How then do you become part of a system if you don't work for that system? If you are not part of building that system, how will you be recognized? Which is what the likes of Governor Hope, Ozodima, they are championing, preaching all of us from the South, including Governor Mufro, the Enugu State Governor. The message is, let us be part of building the center so that we will benefit immensely from the center.
So I don't misquote you. What you're clearly saying tonight is that this perceived marginalization of the Southeasterners has been totally false.
So how are we being marginalized? From my own view, we are doing our businesses and we are striving well. I think there are misplaced priority. Understand where you strive well, focus on it, and then build on that strength, and not castigate a government or preach hate or individual because you are not the one sitting there. So bring your argument based on what has happened to you. The economic policies of this country, is it only against Southeasterners or is it only for the Southeasterners? A lot of traders are saying that they are happy with the policy, at least dollar has stabilized. Traders. Some people say no, some traders are not, the Igbos are not about paying tax or not paying tax. They are willing to pay the tax. But some say no. So when you say the Igbos are marginalized, please, I want to find out in which way. Is it in appointment? If you work against me in every state, Alessandro appointed people that nobody knows because he believed that he came to power on his own. So they want to kick against him. But yet the Igbos are there. We have ministers, we have board members and also. So can somebody come out and say, this is how the Igbos have been marginalized? Has this government targeted the traders and then has this government come up to say this policy is against Igbo traders that is affecting them? But yet they're expanding every day. So where is the marginalization coming from?
All right. So I talked about marginalization because, I would not sit down here and pretend like I haven't heard some of these concerns. And it's just not just marginalization. There is the infrastructural deficit concern, insecurity, and the demand for Igbo presidency. Some of these issues, as claimed by some stakeholders, have remained unresolved. So on which of these has the president made some level of binding commitments?
Governance is continuity, right? There are roads that were started in 2015 that were abandoned all the years of PDP. Don't forget, President Jonathan, some people say he's an Igbo man. He was there, but those roads were not done. Today, they have been completed. You can close your eyes and drive from Aba to Enugu. Aba to Port Harcourt is nearing completion. The president didn't abandon it. He continued the project. There are power plant policies that go to Imo State, for example, and see the support the Imo State government is getting from the president and is showcasing it. Unlike in Abia, which is why people think that the Igbos are marginalized, because when the subnationals, some of them get this support from the national, they pretend to position themselves as the ones providing it. Go to Anambra State, go to Enugu. One clear example, 200 buses, CNG buses, was provided by the governor of Enugu State as a result of the money that the president released, palliative. But Abia provided 20 after 2 years. Now, and people are celebrating it as if he was the one that sourced it. So when people ask questions, what have we gained? What have we been denied of?
Okay.
What is it that the Igbos are entitled to that have been denied them? So it's not good to begin any Igbo man to play second class or play in order to be pitied. No, because there's no room for that. You are in control of trade in virtually all the major markets in Nigeria. And nobody has put up a policy that affects traders.
But also, I mean, Professor Soludo, for instance, I want us to talk about Abia APC, but I need to make reference to Anambra State because, you know, Professor Soludo had said progressives working together is his own political motto for 2027. But it looks like Governor Alex Oti may be the only undecided factor here. Does it look like a problem?
No, at all, because he's not a progressive in the first place. In the second place...
Was a friend of the president?
Well, I don't know. Friendship is different from politics. Friendship is also different from realities on ground. Now, if you know this president very well, you know that he doesn't mix friendship with policies and principles. Politics is politics. When it is politics, he plays politics. When it is friendship, he plays friendship. But the realities on ground shows clearly that Alex Oti is not going to add any value. Why is he panicking? Because 3 former governors came together. Almost all the speakers, former speakers, all of them came together and said, enough of this wishy-washy, enough of this voodoo governance that you're providing, enough of this attack, sending out people there to attack anybody that asks questions. Why not give credit to the president? Why not tell the public how much you have received so far? Why have you not provided the smart schools that you said you use over 100 billion to build from 2023 to this day? So why keep saying that inflation is your problem? Why are you not allowing the local government to function effectively? So even the local government chairmen and councillors, they have realized that yes, that the president's policy will allow local government to function and allow them to have autonomy and impact. Some of them are ashamed of themselves for saying that they are local government chairmen in Abia State. Why? Because even they don't pay salaries. Their salaries are paid from Alex Oti's environment in Mvosi, where he lives. Why are you the only governor running government affairs from your private home?
You're not a fan of the governor, are you?
I won't be a fan of a failure.
No, you can't call a sitting governor a failure.
No, from all indications.
You should choose your words wisely.
Yes, okay. But
all right, please choose your words wisely.
Yes.
But again, you're not a fan of the governor. Is this because he's not a member of the APC? Can you hold on? So tomorrow, I mean, I said it earlier that interest is the only thing that matters to Nigerian politicians. Tomorrow, if he decides to join the APC, what difference would that make?
We will keep asking these questions because it's dividends of democracy.
Are you sure?
Because the president also told the governors, allow the local government to function. Water the grass. When he was saying it, he was not saying it to strangers. He said it to all the governors, including APC governors. So if Alex Oti decides to join APC today as a result of struggling to survive politically, we will keep asking those questions. That will not change us asking, where are the smart schools? Where are the smart schools spent over 100 billion from 2023 to this day? None has been commissioned. Where are the recreational centers that he claimed that he used 7 billion to build? Nowhere.
So you just said
keep asking
if
those
Governor,
questions.
all right, you just said if Governor Alex Oti joins the APC tomorrow, it would be for political survival.
Yes.
What would you say of Governor Peter Mba's defection into the APC?
For God's sake,
Is it same?
you can see that Peter Mba is a progressive. Now, and his party has serious issues. And his former governor, Peter Mba, I mean, they worked for APC during that election.
Okay.
Yes, because his former governor, he came from on the platform of PDP, and you know that the former governor was a member or still a member of G5, like Abia State Governor, the then Dr. Bazu. So him joining APC from day one shows that indeed he is a progressive because they aligned with us in order for us to achieve the result they achieved for us.
All right,
During
because it worked for
2023
you.
election.
All right, let's leave Governor Alex Oti.
Yes.
How does the APC deal with someone like Senator Inayo Abaribe, fifth-term senator, for his critique? They say total sponsored and co-sponsored bills below 10, but is supposedly loved by his people, underperforming, yet a big critic of the APC. He says he would never defect to the APC.
I don't like talking about Senator Abaribe because there's nothing to talk about him. He had the opportunity to go to Senate.
These are some of the people speaking against the endorsement, and he's also a big critic of this administration.
Does he have voice to speak? Can he go home? Can he really go? Don't forget that he was suspended in his party, ABGA. They suspended him. So if your party, the only senator, suspended you, what value do you plan? So Abaribe is on his last lap, he knows. And like an attention seeker that he is, he will want people to look at his direction, and he's looking for who will negotiate with him.
Because this is someone who claims the Southeast continues to be sidelined under the APC government. But despite being in opposition, he remains one of the most influential people, voices rather, in your state.
He's not influential in my state. He can Abaribe come out and call for a meeting.
Can't say senator is not influential.
He's in my zone. So I should.
He's not influential. He wouldn't be a senator.
He's not influential. Some people get to power by luck, by other people, by sympathy.
Fifth-term senator.
Sympathy.
That's not luck.
Sympathy. You know, elections, every politics is local. So we know ourselves locally. So when you come to National Assembly and start to grandstand as if you made yourself, we will tell you this.
Again, fifth-term senator. You can't say that's grandstanding.
You know,
and sympathy
it's grandstanding because we know how he goes to the Senate. Let him come back again. Let's see. The people have decided. He knows. The people have decided. Ask him to point to one constituency project. This person shouting that Southeast is marginalizing. Tell him to show you one of the bills that he has presented at the National Assembly that has to do with his federal senatorial zone. Just one. Ask. You had.
Yet he keeps returning.
Like I said, every politics is local. We know ourselves. And let him return again. We will come back to this place, and then we will re-examine these conversations.
So, I mean, if Senator Abaribe were seated here with us, and this is because he's constantly talking about this marginalization, what single achievements of this administration would you cite to convince him that he's wrong?
I don't need to convince him. First of all, let him convince me. Let him tell me what he has achieved in my senatorial zone. They say charity begins at home. For almost 20 years that you are there, show me one federal project you have attracted. One. But today, just Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker, 3 institutions attracted. Honorable Minister Q, I can't name all. Even while I was in the office, this president approved NAUDA Institute of Agribusiness and Entrepreneurship, fully completed, functioning in that zone. Fully functioning. Abaribe should just tell us one bill that he has presented to the House that passed through. Don't forget that we had that National Assembly members are getting 2 billion or thereabout for constituency project and all. Where is our own? So Abaribe should shut up.
It means some of you are not holding him accountable.
Good.
I mean, you have a voice.
Yes, that's why I said, let him come back again. Let's see. Every politics is local. So now that our people have risen and said, enough of your grandstanding, enough is enough. So this time around, come back home. All right.
You talked about NAUDA, so let's talk about you, your successes and failures, if any, at NAUDA. And I'm going to make particular reference to where we stopped the last time we had this conversation. How can agencies like NAUDA coordinate better with state governments and local farmers?
The laws that establish NAUDA is very clear. Partnership with state and local government. But when the government at the state levels thinks that he is not in your party, or when you approach them and they want to go away from the principles or the guidelines as enshrined in NAUDA's Act, you won't do much. Again, you can't also, the law says you can partner with local government, but when the local government are like, I don't know the right word to use, to the governors, meaning they can't work with you directly.
We know what that is.
Yes, so NAUDA now is left to partner with those that showed interest. I will use...
The governors that show interest?
Yes.
Okay.
I will use Imo, even Ebonyi, then Boronu, Yobe, mostly those in the north state. The Abia state governor didn't show interest, this governor. The former governor showed interest and gave us space where to work. So now that is a critical tool in the hands of both the local, state, and at the federal level because of the partnership, how is positioned, how is couched, in order to get, like go between the federal and the state and local government for agriculture. So it's a strong tool that they should harness the potentials of NAUDA in order to produce what we will eat.
So, I mean, if you were to look back at your successes and, I said failures, if any, what would you say was the biggest failure as executive secretary, as CEO, a mistake you would not want the new engineer Bakia to repeat?
When we started NAUDA, I started NAUDA from my personal office.
Okay.
There was no office, there was no handover note, there was no staff, nothing, no briefing, just my appointment letter. There was no car, there was no budget. So you can now ask yourself, how did we do it? We were able to design programs and engage volunteers. For one whole year, NAUDA was functioning without budget. But that didn't deter us, because to integrate an agency into the system and have it receive budget is not something that you do overnight. So 1 year gone without budget, without funding, without staff. In the second year, we were still struggling, but now we had an intervention fund from the then president. And some governors, like Governor Hope, we reached out to him, we reached out to Governor Boronu. Some governors now showed strong interest. And then we started having access to now that land that were abandoned. And we picked from there on the third year. Before I left office, we had coordinators and offices in all the states of the country and had projects. The first integrated farm estate that was commissioned in this country, I built it within 6 months, 100 hectares. In Imo State, we commissioned Acharubo Farm Estate, fully completed and commissioned. The Governor Hope represented the president in commissioning it. In Boronu State, we commissioned projects. So NAUDA has ongoing projects.
Okay.
Now, what would be the mistake? We came on board, like I said, without staff. It was challenging to us. So now the current ES will not face those challenges that we face, because we have laid the foundation.
Okay.
We have built the house. It's now for him to keep running it and make the desired
So
impact.
as currently structured, would you say NAUDA can still deliver food security?
Perfectly well. NAUDA is in a better and good position now to begin to achieve those mandates going forward.
All right, then. Thank you very much for speaking with us tonight. Prince Paul Ikonne is Abia APC Chieftain, former Executive Secretary, CEO, NAUDA. Thank you very much for your time with us. Once again, Happy New Year. And thank you for all these insightful conversations on Politics Tonight. We do appreciate it.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News NG. I'm Olajumoke Olatunji. Good night, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow.